Hello, in this class I will be discussing this problem, perturbing potential in X cube acting on linear harmonic oscillator. What is interesting about this problem is, if we consider perturbing potential in X or in X square, they don't actually change the nature of a harmonic oscillator, in the sense that the oscillator will remain a harmonic oscillator. We have already discussed perturbing potential in X. It will only shift the origin of the oscillator and also reduce the energy levels by a constant amount. But the angular frequency will not change. So essentially the energy levels remain equidistant. That means just like the energy levels of a harmonic oscillator, even the separation between adjacent levels remain the same in X potential. When we consider X square type potential, there also there is a shift. So let us look at the coefficient of this X square potential. Depending upon whether the coefficient, let us say some epsilon, whether the coefficient is positive or negative, that shift in the energy levels can be increasing or decreasing. Okay, if epsilon is positive, it can be increasing, or if it is negative, it can be decreasing. So there is a shift in the energy levels, but there also the separation between adjacent levels remains the same, remains constant, but it will not be h cross omega, it will be h cross omega multiplied by some constant value with some suitable power of epsilon. That depends whether we consider first order correction or second order correction. Anyway, these two problems, X potential and X square potential, are exactly solvable, and they don't change the nature of harmonic oscillator. Harmonic oscillator remains harmonic oscillator. Whereas X cube potential is the first unharmonicity term that you can add to a harmonic potential. So this causes an unharmonicity. The oscillator becomes an unharmonic oscillator. Okay. So this is the first unharmonicity term. We can add the next term can be x raised to 4, but that we have already discussed. That will produce unharmonicity. Let us see what is the unharmonicity produced by X cube type potential. So let me introduce some perturbing potential of this form. Epsilon is some constant, x cube h cross omega, where omega is the angular frequency of the linear harmonic oscillator. Omega is equal to root of k by n. Okay, so this problem is not exactly solvable. We have to use perturbation theory. So what is the first order correction? N b prime n. If you substitute and take the constant terms outside, epsilon and h cross omega are constants. So n x cube n. Now this is this point I have discussed when I discussed the X potential, perturbing potential of X type. If we have an odd power of X here, either X or X cube or X raised to 5, this is expectation value of X cube. Okay, but if it is expectation value of any odd power of X, this will give you 0. Okay. Maybe the easiest argument is in terms of the coordinate representation. In coordinate representation, this integral will be, this is an integral like integral phi n star phi n x cube dx. Now every eigenstate of a harmonic oscillator, linear harmonic oscillator, has a definite parity. So this phi n has a definite parity. So whether it is even or odd, okay, phi n star phi n will always be an even parity function. Okay, phi n is an even function, phi n star is also an even function, the product is even. If phi n is an odd function, phi n star also is an odd function, the product is even. So phi n star phi n always is even. Then what is remaining in that integral is x cube, or any odd power of x, which is an odd function, and you are integrating between symmetric limit from minus infinity to plus infinity. So it is like integral of an odd function within symmetric limits, always 0. Okay, you can also check this by rewriting x in terms of a and a dagger, and you can easily show that that matrix element or that expectation value will be 0. So for all odd powers of x, the first order correction energy will be 0. We have to go to the second order correction. So what is the second order correction? It is summation over m, which is not equal to n, m v prime n e n0 minus e m0. Okay, this is the second order correction. No, there is a square also, mod square. So we have to evaluate this. In order to evaluate that, first I am going to write down this v prime, okay, in terms of a and a dagger. Let us write this perturbing potential in terms of creation and annihilation operator. So we can start with this term, x is equal to root of h cross by 2m omega a dagger plus a. Okay, so we want to know what is x cube. What is this x cube? We get h cross by 2m omega all raised to, this is h cross by 2m omega all raised to 1 by 2. So this is all raised to 3 by 2. And here we have to operate this 3 times. Okay, we cannot simply take a dagger plus a whole cube. We have to act it 3 times. So a dagger plus a dagger plus a dagger plus a. The reason is that a and a dagger are non-commuting. Okay, so when we take simply whole cube, then some of the cross terms may not be taken into consideration. Okay, so let us expand this. So h cross by 2m omega all raised to 3 by 2. So this I will expand this 2 first. So we have what you have, a dagger square plus, okay, then a dagger a plus a dagger plus a square. Okay, this into a dagger plus a. Okay, since let us write it out completely. Okay. Start here. X cube is equal to h cross by 2m omega all raised to 3 by 2. Okay, so a dagger square into a dagger cube plus a dagger square into a plus here a dagger a into a dagger. So a dagger a dagger plus a dagger a, we can write it as a dagger a square plus then a dagger, so a dagger. Okay, maybe this you can write as a dagger square plus a dagger a plus then this one a square a dagger plus a cube. Okay, there are 8 terms. a dagger a square, then a dagger square, a dagger a square, a dagger. This is correct. So let me remove this. Now what I am going to do is I am going to rewrite these terms in terms of the number operator. So what is the number operator? From the theory of linear harmonic oscillator using Dirac method, we have a dagger a is defined as the number operator n. I am not using operator symbol, treat it as an operator. It's a number operator. And also the commutation relation between a and a dagger is a comma a dagger is identity, which means a dagger minus a dagger a is identity. So a dagger is equal to a dagger a plus identity. Okay, that is a dagger you can write as n plus I, where n is number operator. A dagger a is number operator. So I am going to use that idea here. So we have h cross by 2m omega raised to 3 by 2. First term remains the same, a dagger cube plus. Now here wherever we have a dagger I am going to use n number operator. Wherever we have a dagger I am going to use n plus I. Okay. So here we have a dagger a, right? So the first a dagger I can keep as such, and the remaining a dagger a I can call n. Okay. Here we have two choices. Either a dagger a you can write in terms of n. Here there is no such choice. Okay, only combination is a dagger a. Here you can either combine the first and second and say a dagger a is equal to n, or you can combine second and third and say a dagger equal to n plus I. Now here what my procedure is, let us maintain either creation operator or annihilation operator on the right end. Okay, because finally we want this a or a dagger acting on ket n. Okay, we want to solve that matrix element. So in order to calculate the second order correction energy, so there is a term bra vector n v prime ket vector n modulus square. So there is a when we write v prime in terms of a and a dagger, this a dagger are acting on ket n. Okay, so it is better to keep this creation and annihilation operator a and a dagger to the right end, because we know the operation of a and a dagger on ket n. We know what happens when a acts on ket n. It goes to ket n minus 1. When a dagger acts on ket n, it goes to ket n plus 1. So we know this action. Therefore, what I am doing is I will keep this a dagger on the right. Whenever there is an a or a dagger on the right end, I will keep it like that, and I will combine these two. So a dagger a is equal to n. So there is an n. Okay. And here, and then there is an a dagger here, plus then here a dagger a again the right end extreme a I am keeping like that. A dagger and a I will combine as n, so we can say n a. Okay, plus here a dagger. So a dagger I can say n plus I. Okay, so a dagger into another a dagger. So we have n plus I into a dagger, plus coming here keep a on the right end, and instead of a dagger I can write n plus I. So we have n plus I into a, plus here there is no choice, a into a dagger. So a dagger I can combine as n plus I. A will be in the left hand, so a into n plus I plus a cube. Okay. Now further let us say this number operator has a commutation relation between a and a dagger. It is like this: a comma n is a. That is a n minus NA is equal to A. Okay, that means AN you can write as, taking NA to the right side, N plus I into A. So why do we need is, whenever A is on the left side of number operator, we can bring it to the right side by this relation. Okay, AN is equal to N plus I into A. See that here A is on the left side of number operator, whereas here A is on the right side of the number operator, or number operator plus I. Okay, so this we need, because here in this expression A is on the left side of number operator. This we want to bring it to the right side. Similarly, A dagger has a commutation rule with N minus A dagger. These results are from the theory of harmonic oscillator using Dirac method. You can refer that. Okay, so I am not going to prove these relations. This you can easily try. So if you expand A dagger and minus N A dagger is equal to minus A dagger. So A dagger N is equal to, this we can take to the right side. A dagger is common, so N plus I A dagger. So if A dagger is to the left side of number operator, we can bring it to the right side by this relation. Okay, so in two here, okay, I need these relations only in two terms. Here A dagger N is there. So instead of A dagger N, I can write what? N plus I A dagger. This is fine, this is fine, this is fine. Okay, A or A dagger is on the right side. Now here, instead of you can expand this you can write as AN plus A. Okay, let me write this as AN plus A. Now this, instead of this AN, I can write N plus I into A. Okay. So what you have here, instead of AN, I can write as N plus I into A. This term is fine. Okay, so we have used it. Now let us combine all these terms. So we have h cross by 2m omega all raised to 3 by 2, A dagger cube plus, yes, what are the terms containing, have I made a mistake somewhere here? Yes. Here you have N minus I into A dagger. So where is it coming here? N minus I into A dagger. This minus sign I have to take into consideration. Okay. Okay, so then if I combine all the terms containing A dagger to the right side, there are three terms. Now there is an N minus I A dagger, there is an N plus I A dagger. So this minus I A dagger and plus I A dagger, essentially they are A dagger, this is minus A dagger, this is plus A dagger, will cancel. Then there is an N A dagger here, there is an N A dagger here, there is an N A dagger here. So we have 3 N A dagger plus, what about A? There is an N plus IA here, there is an N plus IA here, there is an NA here, there is an A here. So in NA and A you can combine, you have N plus IA. So there are 3 N plus IA. So we have 3 N plus IA plus, then the remaining term is A cube. Right? So this is the expression for x cube operator in terms of A and A dagger, creation and annihilation operators. Then what is our V prime operator? V prime operator we can write in terms of this. Okay, simply what is V prime? V prime is epsilon x cube into h cross omega. Okay, so what is V prime? V prime is equal to epsilon, this is x cube, h cross omega into this. Okay, so we have expressed the perturbing Hamiltonian, perturbing potential in terms of A and A dagger. Let us now calculate the second order correction in energy. We will take this term here. Okay. So second order correction in energy is, earlier I have written this expression, summation over m v prime n square En0 minus Em0, right? So we need to evaluate this m v prime n. V prime is this. Okay, so if you substitute this here, what we have, epsilon h cross omega h cross by 2m omega all raised to 3 by 2, right? Then we have m this much acting on n. Okay, so then we have, since there are 4 terms here, we will have 4 matrix elements here. So let me write those 4 matrix elements. They are m, first this one, a dagger cube n plus m 3n a dagger n plus m 3n plus I a dagger n plus m last term a cube n. So there are 3 matrix elements to evaluate. Okay. So we have epsilon h cross omega h cross by 2m omega, right? What happens here? When a dagger acts on n, you get n goes to n plus 1 with a coefficient root n plus 1. So root n plus 1 into ket n plus 1. Then a dagger again acts on that ket n plus 1. Then what do you get? Root n plus 2 ket n plus 2. One more a dagger acting on ket n plus 2, you get root n plus 2 ket n plus 3. So what you get is n plus 1, n plus 2, n plus 3 all raised to 1 by 2. Root n plus 1 when a dagger acts on n. Root n plus 2 when again one more a dagger acts on ket n plus 1. Root n plus 3 when one more a dagger acts on ket n plus 2. Right? Okay, so what is finally getting here? A dagger is acting on 3 times, so n goes to n plus 1, n plus 2, n plus 3. So what you get here is ga vector m, ket vector n plus 3. Okay, and we know that this term is nothing but delta m comma n plus 3. Okay, what about this? When a dagger acts on n, we have root, there is a 3 here, okay. 3 you can take outside. When a dagger acts on n, you have root n plus 1 into ket n plus 1. When n acts on ket n plus 1, we will get simply n plus 1 into ket n plus 1. Okay. This is the action of n on any ket n. When n operator acts on a ket n, you will get simply n. Okay, that's why it's called number operator. So here, a dagger first acts on ket n, we get ket n plus 1, root n plus 1 into ket n plus 1. So this n operator is acting on ket n plus 1. Then what you get is n plus 1 into ket n plus 1. So there is a root n plus 1 by this action of a dagger, and there is n plus 1 by the action of n. So we have root n plus 1 into n plus 1, which means n plus 1 whole raised to 3 by 2. Okay. What is remaining is m. This goes to n plus 1. And by action of a dagger, it goes to ket n plus 1. Action of n does not change the state. Okay, because ket n is an eigenstate of n operator. So what you get is here. And what is this? This is Kronecker delta m comma n plus 1. Plus, what about here? When a dagger acts on, there is a 3 outside. When a dagger acts on root n, ket n, we have root n into n minus 1. Okay. when n acts on this ket n minus 1, we get n minus 1 into ket n minus 1. When identity acts on one ket n minus 1, we get the same thing. So what you get is a dagger, this is a, I think, 3 into n plus I into a. This is a dagger, whereas this is a. So when a acts on ket n, we have root n into ket n minus 1. When n plus I acts on ket n minus 1, we have n minus 1 plus 1. Okay, n minus 1 coming from, it's like this, n plus I acting on ket n minus 1. Okay, let us split it into two parts. N acting on n minus 1, we get n minus 1. Identity acting on ket n minus 1, we get ket n minus 1. That is 1 into ket n minus 1. So the result is something like this. When you combine, first you split into two operators, then you combine. So action of n will give you on n minus 1 will give you n minus 1 ket n minus 1. Action of identity will give you ket n minus 1. If you take ket n minus 1 outside, the result is something like this. That is n into n minus 1. Okay. So action of n plus I will, action of a will give you root 10. Action of n plus I will give you n. So n into root 10, n raised to 3 by 2. What is remaining? Bra vector m, ket vector n minus 1. Action of a makes ket n to ket n minus 1. And what is this? It is delta m comma n minus 1 plus here, there is one more term here. This is straightforward. A acting on ket n will give you root n minus 1 ket n minus 1. One more a is acting, root n into ket n minus 1. One more a is acting on ket n minus 1, we get root n minus 1 into n ket n minus 2. Then one more a, root n minus 2 into ket n minus 3. So what you get is n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 raised to 1 by 2. Okay, root n coming from the first operation, root n minus 1 coming from the second operation, root n minus 2 coming from the third operation. So what is remaining is bra vector m, and this goes to, when a acts on 3 times, n goes to ket n minus 3. And this is delta m n minus 3. So this is this matrix element m v prime n. But we need the square of this one. Okay, you refer the previous discussion on perturbing potential in X. Okay, in that case we had only two terms in this type of a matrix element. When you want to take the square, what is m v prime n square? It's actually m v prime n into its complex conjugate, which is n v prime n. You have to interchange n and m. So essentially we will get 4 terms like this with n and m interchanged. When you take the product 4 into 4, there will be 16 terms. Not 9 but 16 terms. But in these 16 terms, not all terms are non-zero. Some of the terms go to 0. Only 4 terms will be non-zero. Now you can write it carefully and you can look at it. What you will see is that those 4 terms are simply squares of this one. Square of this, square of this, square of this and square of this. Only that. Okay. That you can look into carefully, but the final result will be like that. So we need to jump, in order to take the square of this one, you can simply take the square of each term. Cross terms will not be there. Okay. So when you take the square of this one, what you get? Yeah. This is delta. Okay, so what you get is En2 is equal to, you have to take the square of this thing. So the square of this coefficients also will come. So epsilon square h cross omega whole square. Okay, square of this one. So h cross by 2m omega whole cube. Then square of each term. Okay. So also think about the denominator also. So square of this coefficient will give you n plus 1, n plus 2, n plus 3 divided by, okay, raised to half will go to this one, divided by, and remember that this inner product will be of this form, that is, this summation should yield you the only term from this summation, the only non-zero term from this summation. Actually there are 4 summations, 4 series are there. So in the first series, first summation, only non-zero term will be such that m is equal to n plus 3. So you have to put m is equal to n plus 3 in the denominator also. So in the denominator what you have is en0 minus, in here en plus 3 0, okay, plus here 3 square will be 9, the square of this one will be n plus 1 whole cube divided by, here m should be equal to n plus 1 in this summation, okay. So the denominator will be en0 minus m should be equal to n plus 1, so n plus 1 0, okay. 2 more terms are remaining, these 2 terms, okay, let us consider them. Right. So plus, next term is this, square means 9n cube divided by m comma n minus 1. So m should be equal to n minus 1 in that summation. So the denominator will be en0 minus n minus 1. M should be equal to n minus 1. Plus the last term, square of this one means the square root will go, that is n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 divided by en0 minus, here m should be equal to n minus 3. So here we have in this series m should be equal to n minus 3. This is it. Okay. Okay, so what are these energy differences? We know that in unperturbed harmonic oscillator, separation between adjacent levels is h cross omega. So the separation between this is En and En plus 3 should be 3h cross omega, but En plus 3 is greater than En. So what you get here is, minus 3h cross omega. Okay. What about this? En minus En plus 1. En plus 1 is the higher state. So we have minus h cross omega. En minus En minus 1. En minus 1 is just below En. So here we have h cross omega. Okay. And here En minus 3, we have 3h cross omega. Okay. You can take minus 3h cross omega outside. Okay. Then this term will be positive. Okay. So I will take minus 3h cross omega outside. So there will be minus 3h cross omega outside. Okay. So this term will be positive. This term will be, you have taken minus 3h cross omega outside. So in order to get minus 3h cross omega in the denominator, already minus sign is there. So you have to multiply numerator with a 3. Okay. Here also, when you take minus 3h cross omega outside, you have to multiply numerator with a minus 3. Okay. And here I have taken minus 3h cross omega outside. So the numerator is simply, here there is a minus sign. Okay. So 1h cross omega will cancel here. There is a minus sign. There is a 3 in the denominator. 1h cross omega will get cancelled. So minus epsilon square by 3. And this you can do some algebra. I will just quote the result. This final expression, the term in this curly bracket, you can write as En2 is equal to minus 15 by 4, okay, epsilon square h cross omega, right, h cross by 2m omega q, and these terms you can simplify and you can write as n plus half whole square plus 7 by 60. This is what you get. You can split up the bracket and you can write this as, first term will be minus 15 by 4 epsilon square h cross omega h cross by 2m omega q into n plus half whole square. Okay, the second term will be minus 7 by 16. Okay, minus 15 by 4 into 7 by 60 will be 7 by 16. 15 and 60 will cancel. Okay, so epsilon square h cross omega h cross by m omega whole cube. So this last term is a constant term, whereas this term depends on n. Okay, it depends on n. So we get two terms. One depends on n, that is what is your energy state. Okay, depending upon n, the correction will change. Okay, this clearly shows that the separation between the energy levels are going to change, and this is only a constant, so this will not make any contribution to the separation between the adjacent levels. But what you notice here is that we have introduced the perturbing potential like this, some epsilon x cube h cross omega. This was the perturbing potential. Whatever be the sign of epsilon, epsilon is a constant, it can be positive or negative, but whatever be the sign of epsilon, there is epsilon square here and here. Okay, so whatever be the sign of epsilon, what you see is that En2, okay, En2 is always negative. Okay, En1 is 0. So the second order correction, first order correction is 0, so the first non-zero correction in the energy levels is such that the energy levels will decrease. Okay, so in an anharmonic oscillator, okay, the first anharmonicity term is a cubic term like this. So if the anharmonicity term is a cubic term, if this epsilon is very small, then the cubic term will be more predominant compared to x raised to 4 term, if we think that these anharmonicity terms are subsequently decreasing. So because of the effect of the cubic term, what we see is that the energy levels will decrease. And we can also calculate the separation between adjacent levels. Okay, so let us see. What is the energy of the total energy of the anharmonic oscillator now? Energy of the nth state of the perturbed oscillator. This is the energy of the unperturbed oscillator, n plus half h cross omega plus this second order correction. Okay, so what you see is that minus 15 by 4 epsilon square h cross omega, and this term h cross by 2m omega whole cube n plus half whole square. Okay, maybe if I write this h cross omega here, okay, so this and there is and one more term, minus 7 by 16 epsilon 0 square h cross by 2m omega whole cube into h cross omega, right? So what you can notice is that the unharmonicity term will contribute to an energy which is proportional to n plus half whole square. There is also a constant, but this is more interesting. N plus half whole square depends here. So normal harmonic oscillator, the energy levels vary like n plus half h cross omega. For the cubic unharmonicity, there is a term like n plus half whole square h cross omega. Okay, so now we want to calculate this quantity En minus 1, the separation between nth level and n minus 1th level, adjacent levels. So this part will contribute, okay, we know that this part will contribute to h cross omega. Okay, nth level is this. When you put n equal to n minus 1, you have n minus 1 plus half, you have n minus half h cross omega. So n plus half h cross omega minus n minus half h cross omega will give you h cross omega. This part will not make any contribution because it's anyway a constant. It does not depend on it. What about this part? So that part will give you, I will take the constant outside, minus 15 by 4 epsilon square h cross by 2m omega whole square, sorry, whole cube. Okay. Then there is this h cross omega. And what is remaining? N plus half whole square. Okay. So we have nth level, we have n plus half whole square. Minus, for n minus 1th level, n replace n by n minus 1. So n minus 1 plus half is n minus half. Okay. So what is the value of this term? A square minus b square. So a plus b into a minus b. What is this a plus b? N plus half plus n minus half into a minus b n plus half minus n minus half. That is minus n plus half. So here we get 2n. Here we get 1. So this entire term will be 2n. Okay. Therefore, so we have the separation between adjacent levels is h cross omega minus, there is a 2n from this curly bracket. So 1, 2 will cancel. So we have minus 15 by 2 epsilon square h cross by 2m omega into h cross omega into n. In this 2n, 2 will cancel with this 4. What you see here is, as n increases, this term will increase. Okay. So what we see is that as n increases, as we go to larger and larger energy levels, the separation will decrease. Separation between adjacent levels will decrease. So there are two effects in this unharmonic oscillator because of cubic unharmonicity term, because of a cubic perturbing potential. First effect is that whatever be the value of that epsilon, coefficient of x cube, energy levels will decrease. Okay. Second effect is that as n increases, separation between adjacent levels will decrease. For linear harmonic oscillator, separation remains constant, h cross omega. But for unharmonic oscillator, as energy levels becomes large, they come closer together. Okay. When you study spectroscopy, you will definitely study vibrational spectroscopy. For a harmonic oscillator, the model of vibrating diatomic molecule is a harmonic oscillator. But when unharmonicity terms are added to it, then you will see that the effect of the unharmonicity term is a term which is proportional to n plus half whole square h cross omega. And you will also see that energy levels will decrease, okay, compared to harmonic oscillator. And as n increases, separation between adjacent levels will decrease. That means energy levels will come closer together when n becomes large, when you go to higher and higher energy levels. So that result comes from here. So this is all about perturbing potential in X cube acting on linear harmonic oscillator. Thank you.